Let's continue to move around. Ron Rivera gave an interesting answer to a question just yesterday in his press conference. And we have the entire video, and we would like to play it now because I don't want to elude any narrative building things before this.
No.
Ron Rivera chatted with the media yesterday. He was asked a question. He gave a one-word answer. Then there was a give and take that is worthy of a listen. Here's Washington Commodores head coach Ron Rivera.
Nailed it.
Why do you think the teams in the division are farther ahead at this point?
Quarterback.
Is that? I mean, with quarterback, like the Cowboys, for instance, they don't have Dak Prescott this season and still have been able to
Well,
win.
they started with
him,
Dak,
but
and they build around Dak, and the offense is built around Dak. Their backup's a guy that is very solid inside of what they do. And the truth is that this is a quarterback-driven league. And if you look at the teams that have been able to sustain success, they've been able to build it around a specific quarterback.
Chose the quarterback here, though, so do you have any regrets about that, or how do you?
No, I got no regrets about their quarterback. I think our quarterback has done some good things. There's been a couple of games that he struggled. But you look at his numbers from yesterday, and you would say, okay, look at his numbers he's had throughout the year. There was a time he was, very solid. And then, we had the unfortunate Philadelphia game, and he struggled a little bit in the Dallas game. But the way he performed yesterday, it just shows you what he's capable of. And, we chose him because we believe him. We chose him because we looked at what we felt were things that pointed towards him.
Interesting answer there from Ron Rivera, who's former player. AJ, your thoughts immediately following hearing that particular give and take from reporter who had some great follow-ups. You're the one that picked him, right? Aren't you guys the ones that did that? That's an interesting question, but what is your take on Ron Rivera there?
I mean, I'm kind of with Alex Smith here, and Alex Smith had a little rant talking about how what drove the bus over Carson Wentz. It sounds like he backed it up over him. When it's true, like it is a full team situation. But I guess Ron Rivera, we blame coaches that are speaking cliche and are not honest. At least you have to respect that. I feel like Ron Rivera's being pretty honest. He's not super happy with the quarterback position.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that the head coach cannot bury the quarterback. I'm a firm believer that the GM can't bury the quarterback. Can't bury anybody publicly. You can handle that behind closed doors. To your point, though, he gave a very honest answer, I think, at the beginning, and then towards the end there, he had to walk back. I think he realized what he said. Oh, shit, I just threw our guy right directly under the bus. And then he said, struggling in this game. You look at his numbers, you can see like what he is.
Okay.
But this is continuing to be kind of a thing here. Now, Commanders fans are going to say that I say stuff about Carson Wentz, and I do. The thing that I say about Carson Wentz is I'm happy he's not our quarterback anymore. I'm happy that my Sunday's happiness isn't dependent upon Carson Wentz playing quarterback well for the team that I am openly rooting for on a daily basis because they paid me millions and millions of dollars to kick a ball, and I was grossly overpaid, and I appreciate them for that. Him going to the Commanders was something that I thought was going to be a success story for him and for the Commanders. He had a chance to maybe learn from what happened in Philly, what happened in Indianapolis, where they weren't just saying on-the-field stuff, in which he was incredibly reckless with the ball. Let's not get crazy. Had great moments with the Colts and with the Eagles. Has the potential to be an incredible quarterback. But everything around Indy was alluding to the fact about off the field. Like in the locker room, was he the guy that we wanted a quarterback, that we paid $30 million? Is he an NFL franchise quarterback with the way he handles himself around the team, around the coaches, day in, day out? That was a lot of the shit that was getting leaked out of Indianapolis. I'm not saying I saw it. I did not. I'm just saying that's what was talked about. So I wonder if that is also going into what Ron Rivera is saying. Like, hey, why is your team like that? Quarterback? It's like, well, fuck. You just threw a guy.
It would have to be. That's what I took it. I took it as that. Like, if he loved everything Carson was doing except for like what was happening on the field. Like, hey, we just got to get him in the best position so he can play well. And like, I love this dude. I love his approach, how he leads this squad. That's an answer that we didn't get from Ron Rivera. Like, it sounds like to me, yeah, we're evaluating everything and we don't know what we're going to do at quarterback.
Yeah, and we heard a lot of similar shit out of Indy last year. Now, we're not saying that Carson Wentz can't.
What is it though? What did we hear though? Like, what is he like aloof? What is it?
I have no idea.
Well, what is it, October 11th? Hunting season just started.
Boom.
That guy's not even fucking, he's there for practice, and then boom, he's He's calling the mallards in the fields. He's, moving gravel with his Bobcat.
Ruffled grass.
I think he loves football, but I
think he does too.
I don't think he gives a shit whether they win or lose. Like, I don't think that is like affecting his happiness off the field at all because he's got hunting season. He's got his Bobcat gear. He's a God-fearing man. He's got, he's got Jesus. He's got church on Sundays.
There's nothing wrong with all that stuff.
There's nothing wrong with all that stuff, but I don't think if it isn't ripping your heart out like when you lose, I don't think you're ever winning a Super Bowl with that guy.
I think so. I think, the ball is the program. Okay? Sure. Everywhere I've ever played football, every coach that I've ever heard talk about football, and I was very lucky to be dropped into the football culture basically in college and ride the coattails of a lot of people and listen to a lot of football smarts and hang around some of the greatest to ever do it in the game. This is the thing that matters. And for me, my only issue with Carson is it seems as if he does not give a fuck about this thing at all. He'll put it in jeopardy all the time. Whether it's throwing, running, he'll bounce the ball off the ground. He'll fumble it. He just doesn't give a fuck about the program because I think he is loose. Like, I think that is the style of play. He's like, I'm going to go. I'm going to do my thing. But every time he's talked about by people that are in the building with him, it doesn't sound like it's just a football thing. It's like, this is not what we thought we were getting at NFL quarterback. Hey, Q, I'll ask you, because you've been around a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of great quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Andrew Luck, Carson Palmer, Michael Vick, Kyler Murray,
Seven.
Ben Roethlisberger. You've been around a lot of quarterbacks. Off the field, I think it is important for your trigger man to be a leader. Like, we go as the quarterback goes. The quarterback sets the tone for a lot of the teams, like any of the good teams, the quarterback's the guy. Is that what this is all about, you think, from Ron Rivera? Because that is not a cool thing to do as a head coach of a football team going into week 6 to your quarterback, I think, personally.
It's a quarterback-driven league, like you said. I was 100% on board with Ron Rivera's comments on what he said. Having said that, you cannot fucking say that. You cannot say that. Like, every player in that locker room now is sitting there like,
so Ron feels the same way we do.
Yeah.
So when Ron walks into a team meeting and goes, our quarterback's going to make the right decision for us, we know that. We have absolute faith in that guy. In the secondary, who's been watching what he's been doing, is like, Ron doesn't believe that.
Bullshit.
Nope.
Ron, we literally just, Ron.
We heard you, Ron.
You did the leg cross thing even in the middle.
he
You even did it. We
Now they're going to ask the players, though. They're going to ask guys on offense. Well, what do you think? Is the quarterback the problem with this offense? Like, now the players are going to have to answer for stuff that their head coach said.
And it's a shame that is the real world, but you give an actual answer, you kind of lend an eye into what it's like behind the curtain. Now people are even more intrigued, especially in D.C., if the Commanders continue to stink. I mean, can't say it, I don't think, about your trigger man publicly, but I do believe this is something that has been said about Carson here.
Yeah, multiple times.
A couple times.